So there's another video that shows us how to take the top of our inlaid coffee table and make the hole in the rabbet for this piece of sheet metal that's going to slide into it. But now we need to work on how are we going to make that piece of sheet metal? And everybody may have something different. I'm going to use a Trojan head today. It's kind of a complex one, but I think it should help us figure out exactly the way that we want this to run. To find the Trojan head, if you want to do the Trojan head, I've got it hidden. If you go to, let's see, CNC post processors, at the very bottom there's a Trojan head file. So you can download that. Then I'm going to go to VCarve and open up VCarve. VCarve is going to be the tool that we use, even though we're not using the CNC router. It's a really nice tool to be able to make tabs and things like that for the plasma cutter. So we're going to say create a new file, and I'm going to start with a 20 by 20 job size. The thickness doesn't matter. The zero position, material surface is fine. XY datum in the center is fine. That kind of gives us the bullseye in the middle to shoot at, but it really won't matter a whole lot. And then I'm going to hit OK. Then I'm going to open up vectors, and I'm going to go to my downloads, find the Trojan head, and open this up. Now, first thing I want to do after I get the Trojan head in is I want to create a vector that's 15 inches. If we remember, that's the size of the hole that we cut out. So I want a diameter of 15 inches. I'll make the center point 0, 0, and I hit create. So we know this is going to be the size of the sheet metal that I'm dealing with. So next step for me is I'm going to highlight the Trojan head and bring it here towards the middle. Now the bigger we make this, the easier it's going to be to decide what we want to keep and not keep. I want to edit object by taking the transform mode, and I can make this thing as big as I want it to be. And I'll try to center it in here. We want to leave a little bit of metal because we need some structure for the plasma cutter to hold on to. So the hardest part is deciding what we want to fall out. And in my experience with the Trojan head, we want this W to be what falls out and the rest of the stuff to kind of stay put. But if I don't do some addition of tabs, these pieces are going to fall out as well. So I've got to modify this, and I got to modify it quite a bit by using this draw a line. And I'm just going to come here and add those lines there. I'll hit escape, and I have to do it again. Draw lines there and close. And then I'm going to use the scissors tool and zoom way in on this and trim off some of these extras. So now you can see, since I've made that, that is going to stay put together. And we want to do this in several places. We can't just do it in one or two and hope that it stays put. We've got to do this in quite a few spots. So it's going to be kind of a process to do this. And I probably won't do all of it on screen here, but I'm going to do it in 3 places on the Trojan head. I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to do this one now, and then I'll trim them both. So they're kind of in the same spot. I'm just eyeballing them to make sure that they're about the same size. That one I didn't like where it was placed. I want it to be about the same. And if you want to get even more detailed, you just zoom in, and it snaps a little easier. We'll cut these out. So we got those, and we're going to do it again over here. It may seem like we're doing a lot of this, but it's going to be worth it when it stays put the first time and we don't have extra pieces laying on the ground that fell out. Again, that one was being difficult, so I just zoomed in a little bit further, and that made life a little bit easier for me. Hit Control Z because I didn't. I mean, you could draw it over. Drawing over is not a problem because we just trim it. Alright, so if I zoom out, I can still see that that's a Trojan head. Shouldn't be too difficult. So if I'm imagining myself as the plasma cutter, it's going to come in, cut along these lines. This piece right here is only going to be held in by that. So I want to make sure that I really connect it well over here. So I'm actually going to do 2 places over here where this connects, and I'm going to zoom in even closer. Got it, click happy. I'll trim that before I move on. And we'll do one more down here. Actually, I don't like where I started that one. Go down a little bit closer to the end. Okay, so it does not look as cool as it did before, but it's going to be worth it because we're going to be able to keep some of these in. And I actually think I'm going to put one in here as well to hold these two together. So we're going to go like this. I've cut this out before on the plasma cutter and it's really floppy. This will help it stay together nicely. All right, so we can still see that's a Wayzata Trojan head. Yeah, that is what it is. So we don't have to do anything with toolpath now. Again, I'm just kind of imagining all of this stuff cutting out. That'll stay, that'll stay. And then we bring it into the plasma cutter. So the best thing to do here is we go File, Export as a DXF, and we save it somewhere. I'll put it on my desktop for now. You can put it in your desktop too. I'll call it a Trojan head and say save. And then we'll actually put that onto a flash drive and we'll bring that to Mr. Pashina to cut out on the plasma cutter. So just to review, really important, the diameter of this circle is 15 inches. And then whatever we got going on in here, we just got to make sure that as the plasma cutter follows the black lines, that not everything falls apart because we can't put it back together. If you have any questions, talk to Mr. Pashina or myself. We'll be happy to help.